Hello, it is Wisdom Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. Steve Sipress here on a beautiful day, no storm. If you caught my video yesterday, you saw an extra exciting background as a monsoon rolled in behind me. But today you can see the skies are beautiful, partly cloudy, the sun is setting in the west. And Ron is here, good seeing you. And so here's the deal. I was watching some videos, some business videos, hey George, on YouTube. And you know how when I don't know if you go to YouTube, if you watch the videos, these suggested videos come up along the side. And I don't know, exactly how YouTube does it, although I have an expert YouTube marketing expert on my team, so I got people and I know people that know all the ins and outs of it, so you can advertise on it, make tons of money with it. But I do know that, hey, we're back. A lot of the videos that show up on the side are like related to the video I'm watching. But then for some reason there's also videos on there that relate to other videos I previously watched. So kind of like YouTube, well, they all do. Amazon, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, they all know what we like. They all track everything we do. So not only are there related videos for what I'm watching, but there is, hey Jim, but there are videos that I've, on subjects I've watched before. And so this was the case here. I watched a whole bunch of videos on a business topic, working on a big project with a client. So far he's making a ton of money, it's going great, and we're scaling it up and he'll make a few million more by the end of the year, which is always very nice. And so, but then, YouTube must have thought, like, he needs a break from all this business stuff. Here's an entertaining one to watch. And I like an upset. I don't know if other people out there, you like an upset. Like, it's kind of an American thing to root for the underdog, and we like the upset, Goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War and the ragtag, revolutionaries against the big bad British Army and all that. But, for instance, I remember where I was when Mike Tyson, the news came, we weren't watching the fight, but the news came that Buster Douglas, this nobody, had knocked out Mike Tyson. Now, all the fights of Mike Tyson, he was knocking people out in the first round, in the first minute or two. Fights never went past the first rounds. Not nearly as exciting as, like, what? Someone knocked out Mike Tyson? That's big news. If the news came, I remember the day, because I remember that was the same day that Nelson Mandela was freed out of being in prison for 20, 30 years, whatever. So that was big news. And then Tyson comes along, and wouldn't have been big news if he just won against this nobody, Buster Douglas, but he goes and loses. That's big news. So I love an upset. I remember where we were. It was back in those days. I was in a bar, and hanging out with some buddies, and the news started traveling like wildfire. What's going on? What's going on? No cell phones back then, no internet. This is like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And, because it had to be like the early 90s or something, and or late 80s. And, word kind of spread, and we couldn't believe it. It was shocking. I can imagine if someone had a video camera on us at that time, we'd be shocked. Oh my goodness, really? I don't believe it. Let me see the replay. Show it again. Let me see. I have to see it come across on the TV, on the news. Like, I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. Now that talk about, I think that was a Sunday night. I also remember another Sunday, because I'm a New York Jets fan, or was, until the NFL made itself unwatchable. But back in the day, I was a Jets fan. And I remember Super Bowl III and watching it with my dad on a Sunday, Super Sunday, way back in 1970. And when the Jets from the upstart AFL beat the vaunted Baltimore Colts, the unbeatable Baltimore Colts that were like 17-point favorites or whatever. The Jets were not even supposed to be anywhere near in the ball game, and they won, and everyone was shocked as the Jets controlled the entire game. Right off the bat, it was like the Colts were out of it. And even though it was low scoring, technically, I guess something could have happened. But steadily, more and more people were like, I was watching. My dad he was a wholesale rep, furniture rep to big department stores in New York City, Macy's and Gimbel's and Bamberger's and that stuff. So I was in one of those stores, a Macy's or a Bamberger's, in the furniture department, and people, I remember, started gathering around. And they were always asking the score as they're coming around, and they could not believe it. Could not. Whoa, they're shocked. I don't believe it. What do you mean the Jets are winning? What do you mean? Ooh, another field goal for the Jets? Really? The Colts haven't come back yet? So I love this kind of upset thing. So here comes, I'm watching these business videos, and YouTube suggests this video, and I got to just watch this thing because these never get old. It's one of these highlights of whatever other mainstream liberal TV channel is doing coverage of the 2016, I'm lost in the 90s now, the 2016 presidential election night of November, whatever it was, where the biggest upset in our lifetime in politics of Donald Trump somehow ridiculously, or the American people really saying we're fed up with the establishment, we'll vote for anybody that isn't part of the establishment. So he hijacks the entire Republican Party and mows them down. Then he comes up against the big bad Clinton machine and Obama and the FBI and the Department of Justice and the Attorney General. As we're now seeing, everybody was in on the fix against Donald Trump, and yet somehow he wins. Well, these videos come up if you like that kind of stuff, you like that kind of comedy, and seeing the shock and the disbelief of an upset. They have, like, here's NBC's coverage, here's CNN's coverage, here's this, here's that. And I remember flipping the channel that night with my beautiful wife, Michelle, and going like, we got to watch some of these far left liberal channels because that's so much more entertaining than watching, if there was such a thing, any kind of neutral channel. I don't think those exist anymore. Or watching a conservative channel because, okay, yeah, they're happy there's a win, but I want to see the shock and the disbelief. And so there it was. Well, one of the clips I was going through not just the election night, but this was one of these never Trumper videos with all the highlights of all the naysayers that said Trump would never run, he would never win, it's a joke. They're showing all the comedians and all the speeches and all the everybody and all the never Trumpers. And of course it doesn't matter what party they're in because all the Republicans, all the Democrats, all the everybody were against an outsider, of course. And so, but one of the clips caught my eye, and I just cringed when Nancy Pelosi came on, of all people. So first of all, you could cringe almost no matter what she says, but I just felt so bad for her. She came on and she said, if I'm quoting directly, it was something like, Donald Trump will never be president, take it to the bank. Oh, and as soon as she said take it to the bank, I cringed. Because the rest of these people were all wrong. They were all like, oh, they're laughing, he can't win, but being a politician, Nancy Pelosi had to add in the promise, take it to the bank. Why? Why'd you got to do that? I was just crazy. I'm like, why'd you have to do it? Why'd you have to promise something that you have no control over, that you don't know what's going to happen, a month later or 4 months later or a year later, whenever she said it? I'm like, what kind of... But politicians, see, they walk around, speaking of Donald Trump, he's pretty well known to be a politician that is not always, truthful. Understatement of the millennium. So these politicians, all of them, they love to stretch the truth, lie, overpromise, underdeliver. And when I see that, all I can think of is like, we can't get away with that. My clients can't get away with that. I can't get away with that. If you're watching this video, you're a business owner, hopefully you are. You can't get away with that. We have a much, much higher standard of integrity than politicians. So where Nancy Pelosi can say, oh, blah, 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 take it to the bank, and it's totally not true and doesn't happen. So I'm pretty glad, I guess, I didn't take that to the bank, or unless that bank was robbed or the vault was empty or, come on now. We can't say that stuff. So when we guarantee something, when we promise something, when we say it'll be delivered next Tuesday, here's the tracking number. When we say I'm going to ship it out first thing in the morning, when we say I'm going to get that to you, when we say I will get you the results that I'm promising or I'll give your money back, we can't say take it to the bank and then not follow through with it. We just can't do it. Okay, so if you're watching any of the circus that's been going on for the last 2-3 years in the Donald Trump world of politics, which I'm not into politics, but as pure entertainment, it's like hilarious what's going on for the last 3 years, you will see constant promises and then over-promising and therefore under-delivering, not delivering at all, and we can't do that. So I cringe when I see it, and that's Wisdom Wednesday, my wisdom to all business owners out there. You cannot be like politicians. We have a much higher standard. When we say there's a guarantee, when we say if you buy my product, it will do this, When we say, if you get my service, this will happen. And especially if we emphasize with take it to the bank, or I guarantee it, or absolutely guaranteed results, like, we got to deliver. When politicians do it, everyone just goes, well, yeah, of course, it's Nancy Pelosi. She says things all the time that aren't true. She says take it to the bank and all kinds of things that don't happen. And not to mention all these politicians flip-flop on all their positions. First they're for this, then they're against it, then they're for this, then they're against it, then they're back for it, then they're against. We don't believe anything they say. Don't be that guy. We can't do that as business owners. People got to believe what we say. We got to follow through. One reason I was discussing with a client the other day, people tell me all the time, prospects, all the time, I've been recording a daily Facebook Live video and putting it onto my podcast and blog and on YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn and whatever every day since it's almost about a year and a half now. Every single day, haven't missed a day. And clients have come on board with me and told me right away that's why. They say, I just know that when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. Because you never make an excuse. I mean, do you think in the last year and a half I could have made an excuse one of those days and said, oh, just don't feel like it today, or I'm busy, or I'm somewhere, or I can't whatever, or I'll do it tomorrow? Like, no. I said I'll record a daily Facebook Live video every single day. That's what I've done. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Take it to the bank. Oh, see what I did there? Wasn't even planning to do that. All right. That's it for Wisdom Wednesday. Catch you back here tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. Enjoy the sunset if you're out west. I'm sure the sun has already set if you're further east. Enjoy what's left of your Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks for being here, everybody, live. Dean Jackson is here. Great seeing you, Dean. Paul Papa Chavez is here. Long time. Great seeing you. And everybody else that was here live. I don't see any questions, comments, concerns, issues, anything at all. So I will be back here again tomorrow on Throwback Thursday, where as always I dip into the archives and share something from the Wayback Machine. We have a little fun, and there's usually a business lesson in there too. Thanks for being here today. Catch you tomorrow. Over and out. Bye-bye.